in Ramallah and
where is Ramallah?
or in Gaza, you could not have this conversation there. So this is a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
to
but
me.
you cannot have this discussion in Tel Aviv. No, in Leeds.
In Leeds?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not in Leeds. I'm in.
Yeah, but Leeds is part of England.
Okay.
So
I know about Speaker's Corner.
So anyway, so you have questions about Sunni, but I think we should have religious talk about Islam and Judaism.
We can do that. I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to debate, but I want to have a conversation.
Yeah, conversation.
And you can record it, edit it.
Yeah, no problem. So let us have this discussion.
Can we do it where there's a little bit less noise? Yeah, quiet. Here we go. Do you want to be filmed?
Okay. So where's the video?
Oh, this is the video.
Ah, okay. So him is gonna record.
He's gonna do the video.
Okay.
Can we actually get him maybe over here in the middle?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't control them, by the way.
Yeah, I understand. Can we get you over here? Maybe a little, make a little space. Oh, yeah, beautiful. All right.
So the question I want to talk about, like us, we believe in God.
Yeah, let's start with the basics. Assume my audience. I have people who listen to my program who are Jews, who are Christians,
Muslims,
who are secular.
Yeah.
I get people right to me from Afghanistan who listen to my program.
Seriously?
You know, so we got people all over the world. Some of them know about Islam. Some of them don't know anything. So let's.
Okay.
So I want to. All right, hold on. It's telling me please wait. So. All right.
So I want to.
Okay, tell me what your name is, sir.
My name is Shamsi.
Shamsi, and we are here.
YouTube, Brother Shamsi. Yeah.
What's that?
Brother Shamsi. That's what
Brother Shamsi. I'm here with Brother Shamsi in Speaker's Corner, and he is going to represent the perspective of Sunni Islam and tell us what it is that you believe.
Okay, so now I was going to talk about Islam and Judaism, but no problem.
No, and we can talk about that too.
No problem.
Let's start with the basics.
No problem. As a Sunni Muslims, okay, we believe, of course, in the 5 pillars of Islam, which is we believe that we should worship,
I'm gonna count.
Yeah, worship God alone, worship Allah alone, and to not associate anything as a partner with Him. So any act of worship has to be directed to Allah, and we believe that you should not worship Prophet Muhammad. That will take you out of Islam. Or Abu Bakr, you're not allowed to worship anyone or anything besides Allah.
Wait, you said Abu Bakr.
Abu Bakr is one of the Prophet Muhammad's companions.
Okay, so you can't worship Abu Bakr, you can't worship Muhammad. What would be another example of something that
people look up to is like Umar, one of the Prophet Muhammad's disciples, which is the Sunnis, we look up to him as one of the great companions of Prophet Muhammad.
But you don't worship him?
No, we don't worship anything, okay? So we accept Allah, of course. And we testify that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. That's the first pillar.
Is that the second? Well, that's
the first one, yeah.
That's
so it's 2 testimony, but it's 1 pillar. And also we do 5 daily prayers, okay? Also we give a charity, and we believe to fast the month of Ramadan, and to go Hajj, you know, the pilgrimage.
Pilgrimage to Mecca.
To Mecca, yeah. If you're able to do so. If you're able, I mean physically and financially. Okay. Also, we have the course which is called 6 pillars of faith. To believe in one God, the God of Abraham, the God of Moses, and the God of Jesus and Prophet Muhammad, and all of them, and to believe in the angels, like Gabriel, all the angels.
Is something going on?
Yeah, something going on. Come on.
Is there a riot or something?
Yeah, sometimes there are things happen.
Get excited. Anyway, continue. Yeah, let's go on. Yeah.
So believe in God.
Yeah.
Okay, believe in the angels. And believe in the books like the Torah, believe in the Injil and the scriptures that was given to the prophets, believe in the prophets and messengers like Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus and Muhammad, and all of them. Okay.
Wait. So that's really interesting to me as a Jew. So do you believe in the prophet Isaiah and Jeremiah?
Jeremiah, yes.
So do you believe those books are accurate? Or
no. We believe that yes, God gave them a book. We believe they were inspired by God. However, the books that you have now, which is called the Old Testament, we don't believe everything in it. Okay. Yeah. So also we believe in the
New Testament as well. You don't believe everything in it.
Yeah. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, we don't believe everything in the New Testament.
Do you believe the original Tanakh and Old Testament and New Testament were true, but they were corrupted?
Yeah, that's correct. So I believe that God gave a book which is Torah to Moses, and other books they were uncorrupted, but afterward they became corrupted.
So I've been told that some Muslims believe that Isaac wasn't, you know, there's the story of the binding of Isaac. Okay, what's going on here?
The police here.
Okay, so we have the story of the binding of Isaac, in Judaism, and I was told that some Muslims believe in the binding of Ismail.
Yeah, of the sacrifice, the history, the story of the sacrifice.
So that wasn't Isaac, that was...
Yes, we believe it was Ishmael.
Okay.
Yeah, we believe it was Ishmael, yes, correct. Okay. And so believe in God.
Is that in the Quran?
The Ishmael one, yes, is in the Quran. But it doesn't say Ishmael.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So where does it say Ishmael?
It's in the Sunnah, the Prophetic tradition, yes. The Prophetic tradition, he mentioned that.
Is that like the Hadith?
Yeah, Prophet Muhammad, which is part of Allah's revelation. Yeah, because what Prophet Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad said, I'm the son of the one who is the sacrifice, the son who's the one who is gonna, his father was about to sacrifice him, which is Prophet Muhammad's lineage doesn't go to Isaac, he goes back to Qaeda and Ishmael. So let me just go back to it in general.
Sure, yeah.
So believe in God, believe in the angels,
6 principles.
6 pillars, of the heart, which is called.
Yeah.
So the 5 pillars I mentioned for the outward actions. Now the 6 pillars of the inward. Believe in God, believe in the angels, believe in the messengers, believe in the books, and believe in the day of judgment, and believe in the pre-decree. That everything that occurs within the creation by God's permission.
Okay.
Sorry, I think you came the wrong day.
Okay, there's some kind of ruckus there, but we're going to continue if that's okay.
Yeah, no problem. I don't mind. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what we believe. Yes, that's the Islamic belief, and also we believe that which is there is a pillar called ihsan. Ihsan, which is mean completeness. So you worship God as you see Him, even though you do not see Him, He surely sees you. So Islam.
What do you mean as you see Him?
As you see Him, like you know when you imagine now, I want to do rob someone, I want to steal.
Yeah.
I remember. No, God, I can see God. Meaning, I have that belief that I know God exists. You know, some people believe in God, but they don't have that belief that that God exists. God is watching them.
Because what?
God is watching them.
Watching them.
Yeah. So you have to have that belief. You believe that God is watching you, and God is
and
there.
And that's called ihsan?
Ihsan, yeah.
Okay.
Which is completeness. So there's 3 levels. There's Islam, Iman, Ihsan. The 5 pillars of Islam, the 6 pillars of Iman, and the pillar of Ihsan, which is the perfection.
Wait, is that the 7th one?
No, this is no.
That's one of the 6.
No, this is another pillar of. Let me make it clear.
Sorry.
No problem. There is 3 levels.
Okay.
There's called 3 levels of religion.
Okay.
3 levels of religion. The first level is the 5 pillars of Islam. Yeah. نتكلم 1 minute. حاج احنا مع الراديو حاج بارك الله فيك. يا راديو حاج. يا اخوان ما تضحكوا هذا ليس العوبه هذا انتم غدا وراء تضحكوا عليه. بارك الله فيك. فالإسلام وكذلك الإيمان.
No, in English please.
So first level is Islam, which is called the 5 pillars of Islam. No, the 5 pillars of Islam, which is the outward actions.
Okay.
The second level, which is called pillars of Al-Iman, of faith.
Of faith?
Yeah, which is inward actions.
Okay, like in Hebrew, emunah.
Okay. Al-Iman, And also you have the last level, which is the level of Al-Ihsan, which is the highest level.
Okay.
When you start worshiping God, as you see Him, even though you don't see Him, He surely sees you. Meaning that you have that belief that God is there, God is watching you, and God watches every action. So everything you do it for God.
Okay.
So when I'm gonna help someone, I do it for God. Yes.
Yeah. Now you said you wanted to talk to me a little bit about Judaism and
Judaism,
Islam.
but also because you mentioned that Shia spoke to you.
Yeah. So I spoke to a Shiite.
Yeah.
And he told us that the Sunnis were murderers and liars and a bunch of things. People can go watch that episode.
Yeah.
It's interesting because you've talked to me right now about all these things of faith and what you believe in a very positive way.
Yeah.
And his perspective was definitely coming about how Islam has been falsified and what you think is Islam is false.
Yeah.
And he didn't start, actually, I don't think it's entirely fair to say he didn't start, but to some extent he was telling me about here's what we're not.
Yeah.
And here's where the fake people are. And I appreciate that you're telling me in a positive way.
Of course.
So tell me about your perspective on the whole Sunni Shiite divide.
To be honest, I have many videos, me myself debating.
Okay, so where's your YouTube channel that people can find?
Yeah, my YouTube channel is DUS Dawah. DUS Dawah.
And how do you spell Dawah?
Dawah, D-A-W-A-H.
And tell us what dawah is in Arabic.
Dawah means in English, you mean. Dawah is
right. So dawah is Arabic for calling, right?
Yeah, for calling and preaching.
Okay.
Yeah, teaching. Okay. Yeah. So
it's sort of like evangelism, but in the
in a way. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, in a way. Yeah. So what we believe that I believe Shiism is something which came after. I believe Shiism is a heretic group. Okay. And clearly, you yourself, I don't have to, because of course some people are gonna think I'm gonna be biased. because I'm a Sunni, I will tell you, go ask them question. The question that you ask them, tell me your foundation of your religion, then ask him to prove his foundation from the Quran. I've been asking this question to Shi'ism many times. Your foundation that we have to only follow the household of the Prophet Muhammad, and it's more important to follow than following his companions. So where Allah says that we have to follow Ahl Bayt. Ahl Bayt means his household.
The household of the Prophet.
It's not there. They say it is permissible to call upon Ali. To call upon Ali. Okay. So I say
that's shirk, right?
Which is called shirk. Yeah, you know that.
Right. So in Hebrew we say shituf, which is partnership.
How you say it?
Shituf.
Shituf. Yes.
Shituf is partnership.
Okay. Yes, partnership. So
and I think shirk is probably a translation of the Hebrew.
Yeah. No. I don't know what.
Maybe the other way around. I think ours came first, but whatever. Yeah. Okay.
You know that is.
Well, and that came from this idea that there was in early or in certain period of rabbinical Judaism, there was this thing of the primordial man, and there was this idea that Jews were worshiping this primordial Adam, this Adam Kadmon, as kind of like a co-creator almost with God, and so that was condemned by Jews as shituf, as partnership. God doesn't need partners.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, God is one God. Yeah, so they say it's okay to call upon Ali. So where is the proof for that in the Quran? Rather, in the Quran clearly, God said, "Do not call upon anyone besides him."
So they pray to Ali?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. So because I don't want to go too much in detail about them.
All right, that's
as I've mentioned.
That's enough. Tell me what you wanted. You said you wanted to have a conversation with Judaism. Talk.
Yeah. You believe in God.
Absolutely.
We believe God is one.
Yeah. Yes, one.
And we believe God is perfect.
I believe God is perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
My question to you will be regretting.
Regretting.
When you regret.
Yeah.
Is regretting perfection or imperfection? When you regret.
Okay, so it talks about. Actually, before we get that, I want to ask a more basic question. Okay. So in the.
I have a class, by the way. Yeah?
Okay, I'll fit. You said 20 minutes. I got 10 more minutes.
Okay, what's the time? Let me just check because I have a class 7:30.
No worries. 6:20. Okay.
Go on.
So in Exodus chapter 20 in the Torah, God says to the Israelites, 600,000 Israelites standing at Mount Sinai, He says, "Anochi Yehovah Elohecha." I am Yehovah, your God. And when he reveals himself to Moses, Moses says, "What's your name?" He says, "Yehovah, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov." Yehovah, the God of Isaac, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. Zeh Shmi L'olam, Zeh Zechi L'dor V'dor. This is my name forever. This is my memorial, my mention for all generations. Is that the same as the God of the Quran?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe the God of the Torah, the Bible, is the same God of the Quran. Is one God. However, as I've mentioned, I believe some things has been attributed to God in the Torah or in the Tanakh and the New Testament, which God free from it. For example,
which God what?
Free from it. Free from it.
Okay.
For example, regret. Regret, we know.
Right. So it says in the Torah, "Vayinachem Elohim or Yehovah," that He regretted making man. Okay, but then it also says.
Not this one.
Oh, which
one? The one I'm talking, which is more clearer. The one in Samuel. When God said to Samuel to appoint Saul as a king over the Israelites. Okay?
Well, they're both very big. One is the choosing of the house of David, and the other is the destruction of mankind in the flood. So they're both very big incidents.
Yeah.
And then there's also a statement in Numbers that God is not a man that he should regret.
Yeah, or the man he should lie.
Correct. Very good.
Which is the book of Numbers.
That's in
1923.
Impressive.
Yeah, this one. But
respect.
That's the one I'm talking about, which is he said. I, the Lord, greatly regretting for choosing Saul as a king. Why? Because he turned his back on me.
So is your position God can't regret?
No, it's not about can or cannot. It's about
he would not.
That is contradiction. Because regret, when you don't know the outcome of something. For example, I'll tell you, you know what, look after my camera. Yes? By the time I go to the shop and come back, you took my camera away. Now I regret for letting him look after my camera because I never knew you're going to do that. So when you look to the context in Samuel, the reason God regrets because Saul turned his back on him. But God knew Saul is sin. Why is he regretting? So
this is a question for philosophers. I'm a text person, not a philosopher.
Moses was not a philosopher.
No, he was not a philosopher.
Yeah, so
no, but this is really a kind of question that Maimonides he writes extensively upon. Saadia Gaon, who was a rabbi, he wrote extensively on these questions about. It's the challenge.
So you're gonna ask him?
No, I don't care about it.
Oh, okay.
They debated the question of how can you have free will and God determines everything in advance. This is,
that's a different subject.
This is a philosophical. No, it's the exact same subject. It's a philosophical question I'm not really interested in. I don't understand quite how God works. I'll tell you that straight up front. My view of it is that God is perfect, and you agree with me on that.
This called what? In Arabic called fitra, which is a natural inclination.
Yeah.
Every baby is born with it. That naturally God is perfect. That's why, not because I'm a Muslim. Because the natural inclination is like a padlock.
Right.
And you need that padlock to be open. I believe the correct key for it is Islam.
I understand you believe that. Okay.
You know why? No, not because subjective. No, it's objective. You know why? Because with the proof that you believe.
So let me ask you this. So
wait, let me finish.
Go ahead. Sure.
Give me time.
Okay, Shamsi.
Because God regretting, that is not the nature of the Most High. I will give you another one.
Do you believe the Qibla was originally Al-Quds and then was later changed to Al-Makkah?
Before I will tell you.
So God changed his mind according to that?
No, that's not changed his mind. For example, it's not. Before we go to that, I'm saying, for another one, which is, do you know how the language came about?
You mean the mixing of the languages at the Tower of Babel?
Yeah, how it came about.
I do, yeah. It's in Genesis chapter 10 and 11.
That's it, 10 and 11. He looked up on the earth and he saw people speaking one language.
Right. And they mix up their languages.
And what they start doing? They start building tall towers.
Right. Tower of Babel,
So he said there is nothing to stop them right now. So he said, let's go down and confuse them.
Mix up the languages.
Yeah, but the question, God is not worried if you speak one language or two. Rather, that story clearly taken from the Sumerians, because Sumerians used to believe if you build
So you don't believe in the Tower of Babel?
No, it's not about that. I don't believe God is
that in the Islamic sources, the Tower of Babel?
We know about Babel, it's been mentioned about
the mixing of the languages. Is that?
No.
That's not. So you don't believe that?
No, I don't believe, because I don't believe God is very worried about a group of people speaking one language and building tall towers. You know why? Because that was the belief of the Sumerians. The Sumerians believed if you build the tall towers, you'll be able to reach God and to overthrow God. So that shows it in the context. God was very worried.
That actually confirms the story is true.
That's what I'm saying.
In other words, we have an historical evidence of a group who believed they could build a tall tower, and then we see that all these languages are mixed up. Let's not get into that. We don't have a lot of time for that.
No, wait. No. I know you expected to hear.
Tell me about the Qibla, the changing of the direction of prayer in Islam.
Wait, I'm going to give you about the Qibla. First of all, so clearly that you can see that in the Old Testament, the way God is being spoken about is not correct. Even you want to just go Qibla, forget Qibla.
No, because I'll tell you why I want to do Qibla. You brought up something where God said one thing and said, hey, I'm going to now do something else. And you have the exact same thing in Islam.
No, I'm not talking about that. No, I'm not talking about God. God changing legislation, because I believe God is the most wise. So some legislation was perfect for that time.
What was the word?
Legislation. Yeah.
Okay.
So legislation was perfect for that time.
Okay.
But afterward, God will give you another legislation. It has no problem with that. I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
I'm talking about God regretting.
And I think we're in agreement on that. In other words, I believe that God revealed certain things to Noah, and then other things to Abraham, and other things to Isaac.
Yeah, we agree.
And here's where we disagree. I believe the seal of prophecy was Moses, where in Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 2, he says, don't add or take away to anything that I command you. And Amos and Isaiah and Jeremiah, none of them could change what was commanded to Moses. They could tell the people repent, and they could tell them what was happening in the future if they don't repent, but they couldn't add new instruction that was different than what Moses had commanded. And you believe Muhammad was the last one.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah, I believe. What I was going to say, so you are...
Jewish.
No, but which group? Because what do you call them? Samurais. What do you call them? Samiriyun in Arabic.
No. I'm a Karaite.
Right. So you believe the last prophet is Moses?
So you don't no. I believe in all the prophets of the Tanakh, but I don't believe the prophet had the authority to add or take away commandments.
You believe all of them came to follow the Mosaic law?
They came to call the people to repentance and tell them what would happen if they didn't repent.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, So you believe there are 5 books, which is called Torah, was given by God to Moses?
Correct.
Yeah. So what about the story, the end of Deuteronomy, when it says Moses died, and he was 100 and such, and the Israelites cried for him?
Yeah, so Joshua wrote that.
No, the rabbis differ.
They do say Joshua.
No, not all of them. Not all of them.
Not all of them. That's true.
Not all of them.
I'm not a rabbinical Jew, so it doesn't matter.
So my question now.
I don't believe in the Talmud.
No, I forgot about Talmud, but I'm saying you don't have no proof, clear-cut proof that. So therefore, you just contradict yourself, because you told me the Torah was given by God to Moses.
Well, it was revealed over a period of 40 years.
I understand that, but it was not given to God to Moses.
Down. Well, no, when it says, and Yehovah spoke to Moses saying, that is Yehovah speaking to Moses.
No.
When it says, and Moses went up to the mountain, that was presumably, well, there's two opinions. One is that Moses wrote it in tears.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. It's possible, but I don't believe it.
Yeah.
The other is that Joshua wrote those verses, and Joshua is a very important figure.
Yeah, Yusha bin Nun.
Yeah, so Yusha bin Nun, Yehoshua, when God spoke to Moses face to face in a tent, what's called the tent of meeting, Yehoshua was the only one in the tent with Moses.
Yeah, but no one, to be honest, that bit, scholars differ, because you can check.
Sure, there's definitely two opinions.
Yeah, two opinions.
There's a statement, you ask two Jews, you get three opinions.
That's a good one.
It's true.
So let's go back to the main point. So I can establish clearly that what Allah said in the Quran, that the rabbis, they changed the book which God was given to the
rabbis changed the book?
Yeah, the rabbis changed it.
Then why do Karaites in the Middle Ages accept it?
There's many people accept the book. Doesn't mean it's right.
No. There were two. We're getting sidetracked.
Yeah. So anyway,
let's talk more about.
Even to give you an example.
Yeah.
What is the earliest manuscript that you have?
So
for the Torah.
For the earliest complete manuscript or partial manuscript?
Complete manuscript.
Earliest complete manuscript might be the Leningrad Codex from 1005.
Yeah, which is literally 1000 after Moses.
Oh no, it's three. I'm bad at math. 2,500 years after Moses.
2000. So
the complete manuscript.
Yeah, of course.
There's pieces of it in the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah.
Like we have all of Isaiah in the Dead Sea Scrolls. The first of the Torah, and I don't know if this is actually correct, because there's a bunch of manuscripts that haven't been dated yet. But let's say it's for argument's sake
2000
1005.
500. So you telling me you are taking someone's speech who came 1000 years after Moses, and he says Moses said this and Moses that.
Well, it's 2,500. Yes, correct.
So you have no problem. It's like, you know what is it? It's like me telling you Prophet Muhammad did this and did that without any person between me and
Prophet
Muhammad.
There's lots in between.
No, you don't know them.
No, but I do have them.
No,
you asked complete.
You don't know. Yeah, you don't know how the
complete.
Yeah. You don't know how the complete manuscript.
I do know Shmuel ben Yaakov, who's a scribe in Cairo.
No, you don't know that. No, for the Dead Sea Scroll.
No, for the Dead Sea Scrolls, I don't know the name.
No, this one, the full manuscript. You don't know it.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what I'm saying. So
that's correct.
They are unknown.
Yeah, and do you know the names of the earliest scribe of the Quran?
That's the beauty of the Quran. The Quran asks, we do not rely on a manuscript that we found in a cave on the water. The Quran.
Well, we don't either. There were always Jewish scribes who transmitted it.
No, this came after. Anyway, Allah said in the Quran that the Quran, it is preserved within the breast of those who have been given knowledge. So in Islam, from day one, Prophet Muhammad, he used to receive the revelation.
So I was talking to somebody earlier who told me a story about how
You're too excited, man.
I am excited. This is cool stuff. How often do I get to talk to a Muslim expert?
No, I'm not expert, by the way.
You seem very knowledgeable.
I follow. I'm an Orthodox Muslim. Yes. So many people they think I'm very knowledgeable. There's my teachers, even people like me, way knowledgeable than me. Okay. So I think if they come down to Speaker's Corner, they will look it down then. Because if people think I'm knowledgeable, then let alone about the other.
Anyway, let's
so my point here is that the Quran, from the time Prophet Muhammad used to receive the Quran, read it out to his companions, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Zayd, Muawiyah, write it down, read it out back to him, and memorize it. So 100 of Sahaba memorized it, 1,000 Muslims, and the Muslims from day one used to sacrifice their life, their wealth, their family to preserve the Quran. So Quran was passed down to us.
Well, that's an interesting argument.
That's why the Jewish in Iraq, they come up with the same thing which is called Isnad. Which is the Mozart text.
Well, no, that wasn't in Iraq. That was in Tiberias. But anyway.
No, the Iraqis Jewish who came with this.
Let's not get bogged down in that. So you mentioned how the proof of the Quran is people were willing to go to their deaths for it. So one of the arguments of Christian apologists is that there were all these people who saw Jesus risen from the dead, and they were willing to go to their deaths to when they were being tortured by the Romans.
There was no argument. You're misrepresenting arguments.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because I said Prophet companions wrote it.
Right, okay.
So we have the Christians, Mark, Luke, Matthew, John, none of them claim they were inspired by God. And we don't even know them very well. But we know Abu Bakr as-Siddiq,
but there were Christians who were willing to be put to death rather than deny that Jesus was risen from the dead.
No, I'm not talking about just being dead. I'm talking
about... you don't believe he ever died, right?
Yeah, we believe he was raised up. Yeah.
You do believe he was raised up?
Not raised up from dead. Allah raised him before death.
So he was never crucified?
He was never crucified.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
We'll finish with this.
Sure.
Do you know Isaiah 42?
I do.
What does it talk about?
You tell me.
But you said you do.
Tell me what you want to say only from Isaiah 42.
Anyone has a Bible here? Okay, Isaiah 42 speaks about servant coming to glorify the Lord.
Right.
And it speaks, the description is given here. One of the main points, there's many to be honest. One of them is, let the witness and its cities lift up their voice. The village that Kedar inhabits. Let the inhabitants.
Kedar is Muhammad.
No, Kedar is Muhammad.
Oh no. Okay.
Let the inhabitants of Sela sing new song. Okay. Who is Kedar? It's not Muhammad.
It's Ishmael.
No, it's not.
Oh,
you go to Genesis 25:13. And he said, this is the sons of Ishmael. The firstborn of Ishmael, Nabiot. And the second one is Kedar. And no, but Ishmael is not Kedar. Kedar is. So now, also Sela, the mountain of Sela, if you Google it, is in Saudi, in Medina, more specific. So who's this prophet?
Or in Madian, whatever. Okay, so that's Muhammad.
This guy has a
so wait, the Qibla. Tell me about the Qibla. Why was it changed?
Because I told you why it was changed. It said Allah's. Okay.
Oh no.
You have to ask why this is jokes. Yes. Because first when the Qibla, Mecca, was under control of the Quraysh. Okay. So they were praying toward what? Towards Jerusalem. Yes, correct. So Al-Quds, correct. So after in Medina, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he wanted badly, he wanted to pray toward Mecca. Okay. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him to pray toward Mecca because scholars mentioned that was as a sign for him that he will overpower Mecca. Okay. So Allah told him to pray because Prophet wanted to pray toward Mecca.
Okay. So you believe this gradual revelation, is that right?
Yeah, I believe
and that. And that whatever the last revelation is, that's the truth, right? Is that fair?
No, all of them is the truth. Because that was the truth for that time.
So whatever is the final revelation is what's binding today.
That's it. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. So now we pray to Mecca. Correct.
Okay. And I would say that everything is binding up to.
Can I give me a book? Sorry. What is the brother? I gave a book to a brother. My book.
What is your book?
No, I was just gonna give you something as well before you.
Do you have a book in English?
Huh?
Or are you Salafi?
You wanna read it?
I do want to read it. Wait, okay. Are you a Salafi?
I am Salafi, yeah.
Okay. So are you of Saudi extraction?
Not Saudi extraction because it's Saudi.
No. I mean of like Saudis, like your parents or something came from Saudi Arabia?
No, I'm Algerian.
Algerian?
Okay. Yeah, I'm welcome in me as well.
Okay, so I've got to ask you here, if you're Salafi, tell me about Daesh and what is your view on this? Because they were Salafi too, right?
They're not Salafi.
They're not Salafi.
Daesh, they are enemies of Salafi.
They're enemies of Salafi.
Salafi, yes.
So give us really, because you got to go, and we have to end this.
What is the time? Because
this is the exciting bit. Get this
okay. What is the difference? What is Salafi? Because I shouldn't say everyone. A lot of people hear Salafi and they think, oh, the Salafi. That's it's Al Qaeda and Daesh.
Shabab, Boko Haram. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, and
so a Salafi, there's two. There's Salafis and Wahhabism.
And they're different.
No, there's no such a thing called Wahhabism.
Okay.
Salafis are quote unquote, they call it Wahhabism. Okay.
Right. In the West, they call Wahhabis.
Wahhabis.
Muslims, they call it Salafi.
Yes.
Okay.
So let me clarify to you. Salafi mean someone that follow the Quran, the prophetic tradition, according to the 3 generations. Why the 3 generations?
After Muhammad.
Yeah, his companions. No, his companions, their students. Why? Okay. Because Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he said the best people is my people and those who come after them and those who come after them. So this is called as-salaf as-salih in Arabic language, which is pious predecessors. Okay. You with me?
So this is why you said you don't pray to like dead saints, because like in certain parts of the world, they'll have a tomb of a sheikh, and they'll come and they'll pray there, and they'll say no, we're praying to Allah, but we're praying at the tomb of the saint.
We don't do that.
You don't accept that?
No, we don't accept that because that's not the teaching of Prophet Muhammad. Neither with his companions and their students. So that's what a Salafi. Salafi means I'm a person who follows the Quran, prophetic tradition, and how his companions understood the Quran and the prophetic tradition. And Prophet Muhammad said to his daughter, "What bless Salaf am to you."
So I once had a conversation with a Sunni cleric, sheikh, and he said to me, because I'm a Karaite Jew, he said, you Karaites are just like the Salafi. He said, you don't think the dead person in the grave can hear you. I said, I don't know if he can hear me or not, but in Deuteronomy 18 it says, don't pray to the dead.
That's it.
So I'm forbidden to pray whether he can hear me or not.
That's it. You're right. So, you're right. 100%. We're not allowed to pray to the dead. We're allowed to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even someone alive, I'm not allowed to pray to him. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And those who come with this ideology was the so-called Fatimiyun. They call it Ubaydiyun. which is a group of Shiism. They came with it in around 4th century. They start building the
around what century?
4th century according to Islamic calendar.
So the 10th century in Western calendar.
Yeah,
11th,
11th. Yeah. They came up with it, start glorifying the righteous people, praying to them, saints. Yeah.
Right.
But no, we say no. That's when it comes in so-called Wahhabism. So 200 years ago, Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab was born in Saudi, and in Saudi there was a lot of people praying to the graves, and he started calling people, said this is the wrong way.
And were they praying at the grave of Muhammad?
For a second, I'm not sure about that, but I know there was like the grave of one of the companions in Ta'if.
Really?
Yeah, there's many companions. Yeah.
Okay.
So he said no, that's not the correct teaching. The correct teaching that you pray to Allah alone.
Okay.
Then who aided him is the forefather of the king, the Saudi royal, yeah, which is called Imam Saud. May Allah have mercy upon him.
So tell me, why is it that there are people who are associated, who Westerners say are Salafis, like ISIS and like you said, Al-Shabaab? Why do they think they have something to do with?
Some of them
Salafi?
they don't know. Some of them they are ignorant of it.
Okay.
But some of them they do it on purpose.
Okay.
Because they know the fastest growing Islamic group is Salafism.
Okay.
So what they want to scare people away by saying to them, Daesh are Salafi. No, we are the first people to warn against Bin Laden. Do you know which year? In the late 80s.
You were against Bin Laden?
Bin Laden, in the late 80s.
Okay.
When America was working with, one of our scholars called Muqbil bin Hadi al-Wadi'i.
And he said something against Bin Laden?
He warned against Bin Laden, yes. Likewise, another scholar, which is a Grand Mufti, you know Mufti? Grand Mufti of Saudi, Bin Baz, in the 90s, he warned against Bin Laden.
Wait, so tell us what Grand Mufti is. He's
Grand Mufti, like
leading religious figure or something?
A religious figure, of the state.
Okay, because I've heard of the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, but I don't know the...
Yeah, like in Jerusalem, that's the one who you go back to.
So there's one in Saudi?
There's every country.
Okay.
So,
I didn't know. Okay.
In Saudi, in the 90s, their Grand Mufti, which is the Mufti of the state, he said Bin Laden is a misguided individual.
Misguided
individual. Okay. Likewise, we warn against the likes of Daesh, ISIS, and other than them. We have many leaflets. You can see my videos. We have.
So in your videos, you speak against ISIS
openly. Rather, we have a
Thank you.
You're welcome. No problem.
That's good. They're bad people.
Of course, without any doubt.
We can disagree on politics, but we agree on this.
Yeah, of course. But
this man said to me in the beginning, we're not going to talk politics and Middle Eastern issues, but this we agree on.
Okay, all right. I'll tell you something. Yeah. We have a table called Dawah table. Yes, Dawah table. We have one in America. Okay. We have one in what they call
Denmark.
No, not America, which is the places. Philadelphia, and we have one in
and what
Washington.
Does it mean, a Dawah table?
Dawah table means we have a stall called CC Dawah. CC stalls. So we go.
Store?
Yeah, stall. Yeah, no, we go
stall. Stall.
Yeah, stall. Okay. So we go out there teaching people about Islam, and we have a banners warning against ISIS and Boko Haram and Al Qaeda and Shabab.
So if you had someone in your masjid, in your mosque, who was preaching, who was saying things about ISIS,
you kick him out.
You kick him out
without any doubt.
Good for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Not even talking to, just even sitting down in a mosque and talking to the other people, just in a private way.
Yeah.